Okay, TC55881, Rail Handbook for Air Brake and Train Handling Rules, March 2008. Distribution restriction approved for public release distribution is unlimited, Headquarters Department of the Army. Training Circular 55881, Headquarters Department of the Army, Washington, D.C., 26 March 2008. Rail Handbook, Air Brake and Train Handling Rules, Contents, Preface. Rules and inspection, testing, and movement of locomotive. Taking charge of locomotive. Standing locomotive air test. Light locomotive running air test. Distribution unlimited. Approved for public release. Distribution unlimited. Locomotive daily inspection requirements not complying. Tagging requirements not complying. And condition and route. Movement of locomotive within locomotive surface track area. Leaving a locomotive unintended. Locomotive shutdown procedure. Picking up locomotive units. Rearranging locomotive consists. Operating from other than a leading locomotive. Changing controlling engines, locomotive unit replacement, isolating locomotive dead engine setup requirements, locomotive flat spots, locomotive amperage, reverser lever, ground relay, overheated traction motors, wheel slip pinion, slip light, diesel engine overspeed, electrical motor, diesel governor, low hot oil reset plunger, low to waters reset button, crank over pressure detector, safety control device, dynamic braking, warning light, diesel engine cooling, event recorders. Chapter 2, rules for air brake testing and inspections. Responsibility of train inspection tests, inspection of freight cars, coupling to the train and charging, calibrated telemetry systems, linkage tests, procedure, initial terminal air test, transfer train, yard train, movement air test, application release air test, detaching locomotive and separating train, detaching locomotive or separating train, recoupling locomotive or cars, picking up cars en route, running an air test, airflow method, airflow AFM test, brake test. Chapter 3, rules and train and equipment securement, angle, cocks, air hose, height, security equipment against undesired movement, rules for train operation, train operation on grade, snow, ice consideration, penalty, brake application, brake pipe pressure reduction from unknown sources, maximum dynamic brake axle, use of dynamic braking to control the train, dynamic brake cutout switch and control circuit breaker, using isolation switch during dynamic braking, shoving cars, changing crew change procedures, initiative training movement, high winds and severe weather. Applying brakes from rear end of the train, overheating the sliding wheels, sticking air brakes, cutting out car air brakes, set out bad order cars, regulating valve, equalizing reserve leakage, defective pressure, maintaining feature emergency application air brakes, brake valve malfunction, brake applied and while stopped. Brake pipe continuity check, independent brake application, speed control during switch on movement. Chapter 5, rules, instructions, and proper train handling. Starting the train, stopping the train, slowing the controlling speed and curve consideration, running release of the air brakes, proper use of dynamic brakes, surprise stops. Chapter 6, rules and function operation of air brake and locomotive equipment. Standard air pressure, air compressor, independent brake valve, 26C automatic brake valve, 30A CW brake valve, automatic brake valve cutoff switch, self-lapping feature, equalizing reservoir, relay valve, 224RL air brake equipment, multiple unit hoses, dynamic brakes, A1 reduction relay valve. Chapter 7, rules for airflow method indicator device. Primary purpose for the airflow method indicator device. Secondary purpose for the airflow method indicator device. Chapter 8, rules for car and locomotive location designation. A and B end of the car's number of wheels, front of the wheel, and front of the locomotive and wheel number. Glossary and reference. The handbook provides rules on air brake and train handling for the train crew members that conduct all rail operations continental United States Department of Defense installation. Proponent of the publication of the headquarters United States Army training document commits recommendation of the DA Form 2028 recommendation change publication blank forms directly to the Department Army Training Directory Move Division ATCL TMD 401 First Street Fort Lee Virginia 23801 1511. Chapter 1, rules for inspection, testing, movement of the locomotive, testing and movement of locomotives.